Hello crafty friends, this is the Papered Chef here. In today's tutorial, we're going to cut out this snowman paper using your brother's ScanNCut CM350. Let's get started. You may notice when you look at paper like this that there's a whole lot going on and that one image really doesn't stop before the next one ends. Therefore, before you even try to cut out paper like this, you need to do a couple things, and one is my pencil trick. Okay, you're going to take a pencil, let me get my pencil, and you're going to try to complete some of these areas. Now, for example, this nose, if we try to put an outline distance around, let me get a little closer, around this snowman, it might end up going into the cloud. So I'm just going to kind of enclose the nose a little bit so that it doesn't become part of those little snow behind it. Okay? You can do a little bit of tracing. You shouldn't have to go all around the scarf, but you can if you want. Just give it a try. I'm going to go around the scarf and kind of go into that area. Now you can erase these later, these marks that you're creating. Sometimes, like the little birds were not attached to the heads of the snowmen, so I actually went along and I added a line to all the birds so that they be connected. That way, when it goes around the bird and around her head. That's a female snowman. I'm just going to enclose these antlers a little bit. Okay, and just do a couple things like that to help it along. Now we're also not going to be able to get 100% success rate on our first try, even with color recognition mode, because there's a lot of issues with this kind of paper. Like this one right here, he might end up going right into this one right down here. These two images. So all I did to fix that a little bit was I created a few little extra lines around some things just to help them out, make it more well defined. Okay, I'm not going to do too many more pencil marks because I want you to just see what happens when you don't do that. Okay, I'm going to turn on my machine and I'm going to show you why we have to do 2 passes. So first thing we're going to do is we're going to say scan. And then we're going to be using direct cut. Direct cut because we're directly cutting out these snowmen. This is asking where I want to save it to the machine. And here's the trick for this kind of paper. Use color recognition mode. You change it by clicking on the little wrench and screwdriver and make sure you have color recognition mode set instead of black and white, because black and white does not work because there's not a lot of contrast between these images in the background. I'm going to go ahead and load the mat. And I'm going to go ahead and say start. I'm just giving the mat a little bit of a rub as it goes in so it doesn't slip out of place. You can use my painter's tape trick later, but don't ever put tape on it while it's trying to scan because you can't cover up those registration marks. It's asking us to frame the image. Before I zoom into any one part, let's just see how it did with the whole page of snowmen. And you could then zoom in and just cut out certain snowmen or delete the ones that didn't cut out quite right the first time. And it sure does beat fuzzy cutting either way. I'm going to stop because it's recognizing and it'll take a while and I'll be right back. I'm back and let's see how it did. All right, so I see really good recognition on all these down here at the bottom. These two sort of ran into each other. I'm going to show you that zooming in. And that's okay though, because it still did a pretty good job cutting them out. As long as it didn't cut off the arms, I think we're okay. So first thing you need to do is ignore object size. So let's ignore objects, I don't know, about an inch. We want to get rid of a lot of those clouds in the background. Or 1.5 inches, we'll say 1.5 inches. And I don't mean clouds, they're actually snow, but I think I might turn them into clouds later. Because to me they look like clouds. Little puffs of snow. Okay, so I'm ignoring objects about 1.5 inches. We're going to say okay. Say okay again. Now, to make this a little more forgiving, we can use the outline distance of 0.04. And what that does is it lets us, it adds a little outline around them, and it'll help us get our arms and things that got cut off. Not 0.08, just 0.04. I think I hit it too many times. Okay, that's better. Oops. My machine is, because I'm using color recognition mode, it takes a while to react. So 0.04 outline distance. Say OK. Now we're going to say OK again. And if we don't want some of the snowmen, because they didn't cut out all the way, that's when I would delete them in the editing stage and only cut out the ones that are going to work for me. And then I would run this through again with the paper, probably upside down, just to give it another try. And that's how I would get a full page cut out. That's how I was able to cut out a page earlier. And I'm going to show you the projects I created using the snowmen that I cut out. Okay, don't worry if it says there's a pattern outside the effective area. That just means you're a little bit outside the borders. All right, so let's go into edit mode and get rid of some of the ones on the top, because that cut out too much of a snowman, and this whole section above. And so I'm left with just the whole bottom of the page. I think these are pretty good. Even though they sort of run into each other, I can work with that by doing a little trim. This one I can't work with because it's only the head of a snowman. And I don't need all the clouds. Okay, I can work with that. I don't really need the bottom part, but that's okay. So let's go ahead and cut those. And then I'll show you what we have. And then we're going to cut the rest of the paper. So first it processes. Each time you make adjustments, it has to just recalibrate. Okay, now we're going to go ahead and say cut and start. It's already on cut, so we're going to say start. And I'm going to put it about a blade depth of 4 because this is pretty thick designer series paper. Okay, we'll see you in 3 minutes. All right, it is done cutting. We're going to say OK. And we're going to, let's see, we want to unload the mat because we're going to go ahead and try the other page in a different way. All right, so what we need to do is we're going to peel the designer series paper away from the mat and look at these really cool winter scenes. It's okay that sometimes the snow is connected or sometimes little trees are connected, because you can do what you want. You make them into cards, you can trim them down further. So take your little spatula or just bend the mat a little bit and you can get things off the mat that way. So I'm happy with how this came out because all I need to do is, I'm not sure what I'm going to do with that. That could be a cool little scrapbook layout just as it is because it's all connected. But if I want to, snip, snip, I have 3 separate snowman embellishments. And every time I do this, it comes out differently. So I'm happy with that. I'm going to put that on a dark background just to show you. It sure beats fuzzy cutting anyway. So, I mean, I like that. A little bit of Calypso Coral on the background. I mean, not Calypso Coral. Coastal Cabana, sorry. I don't know why I'm calling it Calypso Coral. It's the sea. It's the sea. Coastal Cabana. All right, there we go. I'll probably snip that little one off around the snow part. And they kind of went together. The last time I did this, they didn't go together so much in this little piece of snow. But her little bird didn't stay on her head, but that's okay. And these two came out fantastic. And I can show you some treats I made. I didn't have to do anything to these two. These two came out. Even the arms didn't get cut off. So I'm happy so far. But we still have a few more on the page, so we could try again. And you could then do a few things. I'm going to explain to my crafty friends what I would do. And I'm not going to actually make you wait for me to do it because I'm going to just salvage the rest of that paper and play with it later. So what I would do is, if they didn't cut out, I would then take my pencil and I would try again. Okay, I would try again. I would outline a little bit of this, maybe connect this little arm to the tree, and then maybe just outline the little bit of snow around the bottom. That's what I would do. Okay, and you could do this again and again, and you could just play with it. But a better idea is to take your paper, put it on the mat upside down, and try again. Because the machines have personalities. Get another piece of snow off. And so do the mats, and so do the scanner. So like if you turn the mat upside down, which you can do with the CM350, and you lay the paper, you not only just turn the mat upside down, I mean put the paper upside down. Try again. Or trim a piece of paper off and try again. So then you can load it again. I'm going to get my brayer. And color recognition modes take so long, so I don't want you to have to wait for all that. But that's what I would do. I would load it again and I would try again. And I did this, and it only took me 2 tries, and I was able to cut out, I've only have one other piece of this paper, and I was able to cut out all these snowmen that I'm about to show you on my project. So let's show you what you can do with these really cool guys once you cut them out. I mean, there's no sense cutting them out. So unless you're going to do cool things. But other pieces of paper in this stack, I don't really have full pieces to show you, but I cut out some hats. You'll see me use them. Here's some other cool pieces of paper. You'll see me use that as a card background. These ones, by the way, cut out with this Snowman Builder punch. And because I have a Snowman Builder punch, which is part of the Let It Snow suite, then I'm going to use that for this piece of paper, or I'm just going to use these as card backgrounds the way they are. And I cut out some trees for my projects. Let me show you what the other side of that was. Oh yeah, that was paper. And I cut out trees, and there's lots of glitter. Okay, so this paper is fantastic. And my customers, if you want to be a customer, and if you want to get things now, there's a lot of things you can get now, and then you'll get this catalog and one of my cute samples from the holiday catalog. This is, I can't open it up, but that's what the catalog looks like, our holiday catalog, going live September 4th. I'm going to put this down so you can see the projects. Tilt my camera a bit. I know it's kind of sunny here in Georgia, and you're like, why are you showing a snowman? But I'm excited about getting things ready for craft fair season. So one thing I did is I made Snowman Poop. And I made Snowman Poop with a couple kinds of snowmen. I made it with the stamp set. And I used these other snowmen. And so what I did is I took some Mentos. They were on sale at Walgreens, 2 for $4, 2 packs for $4, and there's 100 pieces of gum in each one. So I was able to get, I've only used one pack, and I ate maybe 1 or 2 pieces of gum. So I put 16 little Mentos in my little bags. I'll link to my bags that I use. And I was able to get all of these out of 1 pack. So I then used little stickers, and I put Snowman Poop on the back. So this is a great little craft fair item, or a gift to give. Party favors, and I just used this snowman I cut out from the designer series paper. There's all the snowmen, and I've only used 1 sheet of this, and then when I ran out of this snowman from the sheet, I just liked this one because he looked like really cool standalone. Then I just used the Snowman Builder punch, and I made some more. Okay, so you can make all these little treats, and then in the background of my treats is just blueberry bushel cardstock, or just plain old black cardstock. And the little stickers I used are just from Avery. I'll link to my little stickers as well. All right, so that's it. I can do 6 more. I can do a lot more just with my other pack of gum. But of course you gotta be careful, who you give gum to. You don't want to send that to your kid for a school favor, right? All right, so then I made some cards using this. Let me show you another piece. Let me get another piece of paper. I like to put that one in the background. Real red is one of the colors. So I made cards using these snowmen. So for this one I used the foil, the blueberry bushel foil, which is part of the peacock, the royal peacock suite. Blueberry bushel was one of the colors. Excuse me. So I used blueberry bushel for the cardstock, but then I used blueberry bushel foil. So you can see the glimmer there for both the background of the snowman, and for the actual word Merry. You can get the Merry Thinlits dies right now. These are part of our Merry Christmas Thinlit dies. I haven't even mounted them onto my magnet yet. I usually use magnetic boards, but that's what they look like. You have Merry Christmas and Happy Holiday, and you got 2 little tags. So these are great dies that can be used for Christmas. And then what I used also, which is available now, this is how I store my dies. I use the snowflake from the seasonal layers dies, and that's what the snowflake looks like. I'll cut out, and that's what I used for this one. And then I stamped snowflakes in the back, and this is all cut out from the ScanNCut. All of this, the little holly, the little background. By the way, that's a 0.08 background. So right after I got done cutting out the 0.04 background, I just raised it up and made a larger background. to make a little outline distance. And then I put little trees. I stamped the background. That's all from this Let It Snow. And then I made another card using something else that's available from our catalog right now. So just to clarify, these are available now. These are Merry Christmas Thinlits. But the Let It Snow Designer Series paper is not available now. But the seasonal layers are available now. I will link to the description of my materials that I'm using below. So next I used the foil, which is available now. I used the foil, blueberry bushel foil from the Pretty Peacock or Royal Peacock Suite. I love how the swirls and curls worked with the foil. And it even cracked it a little, which made the little bit of white shine through, which was kind of cool. And then I just stamped it in blueberry bushel. And there are 2 snowmen I cut out from the Designer Series paper. And the little ones in the back, the little Christmas trees in the back. I got the Let It Snow from this coordinating stamp set, which will be available September 4th. Snowman season. All right, then I used this punch to make that sentiment. I just cut off a little bit of it. I showed it in one of my tutorials. This is available now, Timeless Label Punch. And now I'm going to show you a whole bunch of bookmarks I made, which is available now. This is the Delightful Tag Topper Punch. Okay, so let me show you all the cool bookmarks I made. And I didn't just use the snowmen that I cut out of the Designer Series paper. I used a bunch of snowmen that I cut out using the Snowman Builder Punch. Because if I have the punch, that's what I used. And you know, I could have cut these out with the ScanNCut as well, but I just used the punch for uniformity. So here are my little Let It Snow bookmarks. And I'm using ribbon that's available now. It's just a real red ribbon and organdy. Well, I'm not sure about that one, but this one is definitely available. Real red ribbon. Okay, and I just used it to make all these bookmarks. The little dressed up snowmen, all with the ScanNCut. I cut out the hats with the ScanNCut. These are little embellishment kits, Let It Snow embellishment kit with the little felt on them. Another one with the little melting snowman, or not melting, but I like how he looks up in the air with this joyous grin on his face. It's so cute. And more little embellishments from the Let It Snow embellishment kit. I colored the arms with markers and more little snowmen. And by the way, this is what I do with these things that I cut out and punch and make samples of, is I send them out to my customers. So you get a catalog, you might get like a bookmark to go with your catalog to mark off your wish list things that you may want to get. So I hope you enjoyed all these little projects. Thank you for watching. This is the Paper Chef, and if you're new here, please subscribe to my channel and hit the bell to be notified of my new videos. There's a little bell on the bottom right beneath my video. Thank you. That's all for now.